You've heard James say it a million times. Respect the polygon. At Weather Call, we make the polygon better. We call, text, or email you so you'll always know when you're in danger. No matter who you are, there's a Weather Call solution right for you. Check us out at weathercallservices.com.
Meteorologist Bill Murray here on this Sunday morning. It's the 30th of June. Can you believe the whole month is gone? We need to be talking about climate, kind of what the temperatures average, below, above, and rainfall and all that. I'll put that on the blog later today, but today's discussion is going to be about heat and hurricanes. Heat advisories cover a large part of the Deep South. Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Panhandle of Florida, up through Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, into Virginia. Even have excessive heat warnings all along the Mississippi River and the Mississippi Gulf Coast. As I record this at 11:20 on Saturday night, that's the current watch warning map. So heat advisories today. Heat index is going to be in the 103 to 105 range this afternoon. You're going to want to be careful. This is this map right here, satellite map from Tropical Tidbits, is the wide view of the Atlantic. Three systems of note. First, 94L. Low pressure there in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico could still become a tropical depression today. The Hurricane Center, as I write this, puts that probability at about 50%. I think when we look at the winds on the HRRR, we'll see that winds could approach tropical storm force. We've already got Beryl. This is Beryl, bearing down on the the Windward Islands and the Lesser Antilles. Going to be arriving there late tonight, early Monday morning. And we even have a third system, 96L. This is 94L. Beryl was 95L, and this is 96L. And the Hurricane Center has a high probability that system is going to become a tropical cyclone, putting that chance at about 70%. Of course, Beryl already is one. And the Hurricane Center putting about a 50% chance, a medium chance, that one will become a tropical cyclone. Now I'm going to drag this back. This is the GFS. Early Sunday morning showing, decent winds over the southern Gulf of Mexico, but still nothing there that, would classify 94L as a depression. But as you go through the day, you can see those winds are increasing. They're around the center. It's very close to shore. But those winds could be approaching, 34 knots, which is tropical storm strength. So the Hurricane Center, I'm sure, will be watching that closely. It's moving inland here overnight tonight, Sunday night, early Monday morning, and, should be on shore there by that point. This is a little closer look. This is basically 1 a.m. tonight, early Monday morning, showing those max winds about 42, 43 knots right there on the the Mexican coast. So could be that we will have tropical storm Beryl. Lots and lots to show you tonight. First, I'm going to start by looking at the upper pattern over North America using the GFS, the 18Z run from Saturday afternoon. Big 597 decameter high in the upper atmosphere. This is 500 millibars up at about 18,000 feet, showing that ridge in charge all the way from eastern New Mexico through Texas over into Mississippi and Alabama. See our weakness there on the over the southwestern Gulf, the Bay of Campeche, and this look right here we can't see all the way out. Let's go through time, jumping out in like 24-hour increments. The ridge is still centered there near the Red River Valley by Monday. We can see the system has moved into Mexico by that point. I got a trough moving off the New England coast, big trough out in the northwestern part of the country. By Tuesday, that ridge is still holding strong. We can barely see Beryl there in the lower right-hand corner of the picture, but the ridge is still in place across the deep south. It's sort of beginning to give way a little bit, weaken a bit. You could see Beryl there near Jamaica by noon on Wednesday, and you can see that ridge is beginning to break down. This is Thursday, still pretty strong over Arkansas, well, really Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. But you can see Beryl there nearing pretty close to Grand Cayman. Friday on the northeast coast of the Yucatan. This is the GFS. And then it's in the western Gulf of Mexico by next Saturday. Now, the ridge is certainly eroding on its western side, and that makes the GFS want to bring this hurricane or tropical storm at that point up into Texas. We'll see in just a moment what the models think about that. Big upper low out here off the over the western Atlantic off the east coast of the United States. That will play into what happens to 96L. But you can see here by next Saturday, the GFS showing the tropical storm or hurricane there on the lower Texas coast. It's moved inland Texas Hill Country by Monday the 8th. Ridge kind of holding on here. 96L, which could be Chris, most likely, could be Debbie if 94L gets its act together. But you can see the ridge is still holding over us, protecting Alabama. Weakness there setting up perhaps over the southern Gulf. We'll watch that. But as we get on out toward the 14th and the 15th, you see a major pattern change from that big ridge that's been in place being replaced by some troughs that could mean cool and damp weather. Now, cool being a relative term. Let's use the GFS here and look out over the next 7 days and into the 2-week period. This is today showing scattered showers and thunderstorms. Going to be possible across Alabama. Rain chance is probably about 60%. We'll see on the HRRR in a minute, though. The coverage is just not that extensive. See the system moving on shore late tonight. Boundary to our north tonight could trigger some more showers and storms into the evening or to the overnight hours. We'll watch that. But you can see that front, high pressure over the Great Lakes, trying to push that boundary to the south. Showers and thunderstorms tonight. Over the basically most of Alabama except the Tennessee Valley. They're gone by Monday morning, and you can see we spend most of the day Monday dry. This is Monday evening, 7 o'clock. Maybe an isolated shower overnight over eastern sections. Tuesday we get into that. Showers are going to be limited to South Alabama, maybe areas from Montgomery to the south there Tuesday afternoon. Looks like we're mostly dry on Wednesday. Maybe a few isolated showers and storms popping up there over eastern Alabama on Wednesday. More of the same probably getting into Thursday. Fairly isolated, but a little more likely over the eastern part of Alabama. As we get into Friday, it's a boundary to the north, a few showers and thunderstorms. We'll be keeping a very close eye on Beryl at that point. And you see as we get into Saturday, that boundary hanging around over North Alabama, that weakness allowing that to happen and beginning to turn the hurricane to the north. As we get over to Sunday, the 7th, the hurricane's moving on shore in Texas. Here we've got just isolated scattered showers and thunderstorms, kind of more of the same. Get out into the week 2 period here. We're tracking the system there west of I-35 in Texas. Alabama next Monday looks, isolated showers and thunderstorms, nothing spectacular. Fairly typical summertame fare as the hurricane now weakened to a tropical depression or maybe an extratropical low is moving into Oklahoma. Here we're dealing with more scattered showers and thunderstorms, mainly during the afternoon and evening hours. Nothing really heavy or special. Now, you remember we're seeing a lot of troughiness developing over the eastern United States. By the end of the period, now we're out in real deep voodoo territory here, days 14, 15, 16, showing a good bit of showers and storms over Alabama. That could spell some much needed rain And if it happens, we'll be grateful for it. These are temperatures off the National Blend of Models. Looks like someone took a ruler to it. 95 today, 93 tomorrow and Tuesday, rising back in the middle and upper 90s, and it stays there pretty much. But I'll pop you over here and let you look at the GFS, deterministic, more of a roller coaster. A little cooler Tuesday, 90. That's not bad, especially given our recent temperatures. But we get close to 100 there by next Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday with that ridge in place, 102. That's pretty high. But you see, pretty sharp cool down. How about 76 on Monday the 15th? Could that even be possible? Well, we'll keep a close eye on that and see. Now, this is 15-day rainfall totals off the GFS over Alabama and the southeast. You can see the track of Hurricane Beryl there. Eastern Texas is pretty dry. So is Louisiana. They came off of a very drought-ridden year last year. So hopefully that's not going to be the case. But western Alabama is pretty dry, too, for a 2-week period. The eastern half of Alabama, though, not looking too bad. This is what the radars looked like on, on Saturday. Some nice showers developed in certain areas. Sort of a band of showers that lifted north into the I-20 corridor around lunchtime. Hoover, for the second straight day, got some really nice rainfall there around Stadium Trace, 150 area. But those showers began to fall apart late in the afternoon, and the evening was pretty dry. Let's see what we want to talk about now. Let's go over here, and I'm going to first look at the HRRR for today. This is starting off with what things should look like by the time you watch this video around 7 o'clock in the morning. Showers and thunderstorms left over from the overnight activity there over western Kentucky, moving down into the Nashville area, but kind of falling apart as it goes. The energy with that, though, a few boundaries, may see showers and thunderstorms developing over Alabama, northeastern Mississippi. You can see the coverage is just not that extensive. It drops to the south by 7 p.m. It's pretty much gone by 10 p.m., and that's the case. Now, if I looked on out here, as far as we go, 09Z Monday, that's 4 a.m., and that's off the 0Z run. Clouds, going to be a mix. Starting off the day, cloudy over the Tennessee Valley. Good bit of sunshine in the I-20, I-59 corridors with clouds to the south. Those clouds should thicken in the Tuscaloosa, Birmingham areas there by 10 a.m., and become pretty thick by lunchtime. That could help us perhaps be a little cooler, but we're still calling for high temperatures today. We'll see what those look like in a minute, and compare them with or add in the moisture, kind of tell you what's going on. This is where we're starting off this morning, mid to upper 70s. You can see by 10 a.m. We're already in the upper 80s to lower 90s. By 1 p.m., 95 at Birmingham, 95 at Jasper, lower 90s over the Tennessee Valley, 95 at Montgomery. And then, places like Montgomery, down to Greenville, Alabama, or in, 98, parts of West Alabama, Sumter, Pickens counties, could be approaching the 100-degree mark. Throw in the moisture. You're going to be very high dew points today in the middle 70s, some upper 70s. They'll mix out, after noon today. And by that, I mean drier air will, come down from the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere and help to lower those dew points. But the damage probably will already be done. These are 1 p.m. heat index values. 102 at Jasper, 103 at Birmingham, 104 at Calera, 105 at Montgomery. This is why we have the heat advisories in effect, and it's really because of these dew points. This is 12Z this morning, going on ahead in time here, 74, 75, very common. You see the mixing beginning to happen there. That will help a little bit. And as we go into Monday, look at that drier air moving into North Alabama. That's going to be nice if we get that. But that means less rain. Wind's not going to be any kind of issue. Few wind gusts probably in the vicinity of showers and thunderstorms today, gusting occasionally maybe to 40 miles an hour. You can see some of those gustier winds in those time periods. Now I'm going to move you over to the talk about the hurricane, because we got lots and lots to talk about there. This is our friend Hurricane Beryl. Rapid intensification. Remember, we define rapid intensification as a 30-knot increase in winds over 24 hours, and we've had that. 45 knots from last night to Saturday night, from Friday night to Saturday night. Pressure's dropped from 1,006 to 986 millibars. Now, when you watch this video in the morning, the system is going to be about 480 miles east of St. Vincent in the Lesser Antilles. Here's the key messages from the Hurricane Center. Beryl expected to be a dangerous hurricane, major hurricane, when it reaches the Windward Islands late tonight, Sunday night, and early Monday. And that's going to mean destructive hurricane force winds, storm surge, huge waves, and some heavy rain. Hurricane warnings are in effect for much of the Windward Islands. So, flooding is going to be a problem, both surge and rainfall. And interests over in the Western Caribbean are going to have to keep a close eye on this. This is earliest reasonable arrival time, of those tropical storm force winds in the islands. That's going to be early Monday around 6 to 8 a.m. Remember, the storm could end up, anywhere to the right or left of the forecast track. And, if that happened, it would, be Monday night in Puerto Rico, Tuesday in Hispaniola, probably early Wednesday in Jamaica, Cuba, and the Caymans Wednesday night, late Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night, and in the Yucatan, probably Thursday. So, we'll be kind of watching that. This is the official forecast with the error cone drawn on. So remember, the center could be anywhere in this zone right here, and that's very important for the islands there in the Caribbean or in the Lesser Antilles. We currently have hurricane warnings in effect for the islands of Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Grenadines, and Grenada. You have tropical storm warnings on Martinique, and go up to Dominica. You got a tropical storm watch. Also a tropical storm watch in Tobago. So that's all this right here. This is Tobago. This is Barbados. Of course, St. Vincent, the Grenadines, and Grenada right here. As you go to the north, St. Lucia and Martinique. Then you get into Martinique right here, where you got the tropical storm warning. And finally, you get up to Dominica, where you've got a tropical storm watch. So, we're going to keep a close eye on all of that. These are the global models, or most of the models right here, the deterministic versions. And you can see we have tightly clustered guidance across the islands into the Central Caribbean. This is normally the graveyard of tropical cyclones at this time of year. Not going to be this time, though. Stays to the south of Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, the British Virgin Islands. That's good news. Past south of Jamaica, but they'll get strong winds. Strong winds and heavy rain are going to affect southern parts of Hispaniola. Into Cuba. Looks like it'll go near or just south of the Grand Caymans, or the Cayman Islands, Grand Cayman. And, it's going to make a landfall in the Yucatan. Aviation, kind of the furthest north. All the other models fairly tightly clustered. These are the GFS ensembles, kind of showing what to expect. It's got some outliers, going up across the Windward Passage, Cuba, and even brings an outlier up to near Mobile. But you can see that would be a very weak storm. Stronger storms are going to be steered by that stronger steering pattern and pushed further to the south. The European, believes in this South Texas idea. The deterministic GFS is much further to the north. We'll watch that. Intensity, as you can see, this storm's going to become a major hurricane, probably today. But those, a lot of the models have it moving up into Category 3 status at 36 to 48 hours, which is going to put us into Monday morning, Monday afternoon. Slowly weakens over the Caribbean. It encounters more shear. Certainly not going to be because of oceanic heat content or sea surface temperatures, because they are toasty across the Caribbean. Now, here's one of our models, the HAFS, Hurricane Forecast System model, and I'll put it kind of in motion here for you. You can see, it's not quite as intense as some of the other models. 979 as it's, moving into the southeastern Caribbean there, really near Grenada. And then it moves on across the Caribbean, beginning to weaken a bit. It's there south of Jamaica. That's on Wednesday night. It's south of Grand Cayman. Much smaller wind field at that point. Probably would see some tropical storm force winds, though, on Grand Cayman. And it's approaching the Yucatan there by Thursday night. Now, that was beginning to strengthen again, so I think the Yucatan could deal with hurricane force winds. Now, the HAFS-B, is stronger. It's moving into the islands at about 954 millibars, and gets a little stronger before it weakens over the central Caribbean, little closer to Jamaica, but the wind field is smaller by that point. The wind field's beginning to increase here by Thursday as it gets ready to approach the Yucatan. This is the GFS, a little closer look, showing it crossing the islands there Monday at about noon as a 954 millibar hurricane. That's going to be a Category 3 or 4 storm. We'll have to watch that closely. It's got it a lot closer to Jamaica. Got top winds there, approaching. What would the winds be on that? I'd have to look at the lower dynamics. Let's punch that out real quick. There, it looks like, maybe they're missing the strongest winds. The strongest winds there would be about 80 miles an hour. And as the GFS moves it on across, hits the northeastern tip of the Yucatan, top winds at that point would be about 75 to 80 miles an hour. Then it brings it into the Gulf. Winds are increasing a bit there. Now they're up to about 85 miles an hour and maybe 90 miles an hour there on Sunday, perhaps moving into South Texas near Corpus Christi. Now, all this is just speculation at this point. This is a bigger picture. The GFS shows Beryl moving into the southeastern Caribbean. 96L by that time has become a tropical depression or a tropical hurricane as we look at this for Monday night when we're recording Weather Brains. You can see there it's moving into the western Caribbean, Beryl there Wednesday night, and what will probably be Chris as a tropical storm a little further to the north in the islands. It's going to be probably more up there north of Dominica. I would think Guadalupe, perhaps Martinique, those islands, when that storm moves through. But you see, it's exploiting that weakness to the north, crossing Puerto Rico, not as a very strong storm, 997 millibars. That's probably a tropical storm. We got Beryl moving into Texas, and by that time, Chris would be riding around the Azores High, which is a bit weaker by this point on Monday the 8th, and that system is really not much of a concern. Going on out to the end of the period, doesn't look like anything else big. You see all that rainfall in the southeast, though, and we'll kind of deal with that. So I think that is all of the weather. It's going to be nice to have James back Monday night for Weather Brains. We got a great show. There was a pretty significant tornado. I think it was Tuesday night, North Platte, Nebraska area, and classic appearance on radar. And the Weather Service didn't issue a tornado warning. It turned out there was a tornado, and so I'm sure we'll talk about that at that point, because there were a lot of people that were upset about that. And I know we can't warn for every tornado, but the pretty significant signature there. What happened? And so we'll talk about that, but we're going to talk about the bigger picture of the Weather Service's warning program. We've had this show scheduled for a while. Two incredible young men that are involved in that process will hopefully tell us about the future and some of the things that the Weather Service is doing. That's Weather Brains, the weekly netcast that's all about weather. Rapidly approaching show 1000 next March. Can't believe we've been doing this 18, going to be going on 19 years. Well, the blog will be the place to be all day today, all day tomorrow, all through the week as we watch what will be Hurricane Beryl, well, what is Hurricane Beryl, but as it moves into the Caribbean, and what will probably be Tropical Storm Chris, as we're just embarking on what is unfortunately going to, I feel and I fear, be a very, very memorable hurricane season in the Atlantic. We'll have notes on the blog, update on the forecast, and frequent updates on the tropical situation as we go through the day. James will be back 2 days tomorrow. We'll probably be on a holiday schedule on the 4th. Scott will see you next Saturday. I'll see you next Sunday, and until I get that chance, as I always tell you, keep an eye to the sky, because you'll always have something fun to look at.